Hello, welcome to the second, or technically third part of this run-through. Not a whole lot to say at this point, just kind of a continuation of this introduction here. We actually haven't gotten our whole group that we were supposed to start with. And, caffeine here washed up on a beach. And once again with the random assassins doing whatever it is, without any particular reason why they know. Now, option A here gives a long kind of introduction to one of the basic mechanics in this, which is the elements that each person is aligned with, based on kind of who's fighting who. They may deal extra damage to each other. For example, fire, water, and earth and wind. They basically will both do equal amounts extra to each other. There isn't really one that's better than the other. It's really just more this versus this kind of situation. This is another one of those that you can't really lose despite being outnumbered, because the ghost that's with you will actually heal you at any point you get injured in any way. Now they actually don't let you change any of your setups before this. I assume this is actually because if you have gotten the fist fighting emblem before at the beginning, you actually would probably be able to beat this before the actual story benefit kicks in the second year. I'm sure there'd be a way to pull it off. And there's nothing special about this. There's 3 soldiers that are pretty useless. Surprisingly not as useless for the archers that are considered an upgrade. They're certainly not. But it is what it is. So, as far as abilities in this go, there aren't too many available. Each class will have its own. For example, ninjas will be able to throw shurikens and things like that. And there's a couple of abilities that you get kind of throughout the story. I think there's a couple. And then in the optional quest mode at the start menu, that gives the other ones. Actually, no, I'm mistaken. There's one that you get in the story itself, if you have the right people there, and if you accept it, and then 2 which are available through this quest mode there. And these are usually really overpowered attacks that just, I think, like some 2 or 3 times damage. And just have a cool animation. Those will be seen when they come up. Other than that, as far as magic things like that go, there are basically missiles and area of effect ones for the basic ones that most casters will be able to use. The missile ones are pretty obvious. They'll just go in that general direction that you tell them to go to. They may hit something else. Whereas the area effect ones will always hit specifically where you ask them to hit, and will change the ground around them in the case of fire, and I believe the other ones in a few cases. such as grass will get burned and stuff like that, so that's a nice touch. And these get better pretty shortly into the game, so I'm surprised they added that mechanic at all. Also, I love the absolutely terrible death sounds for this as well. Everyone sounds mildly annoyed that they just got stabbed in the face. So yeah, the actual challenge will start once I have some chance to actually change the starting group, and the whole first battle with those people will just be to change them all to archers. And past that, everybody will have to either be hired with that unlocked, or will have to be talked into joining the group. Although that probably won't be necessary. So, don't have too many ideas in mind for the names, but I guess I'll just be naming them as kind of from suggestions that I get. And I'm sure there won't be a whole lot of people watching this, so there shouldn't be many of those, and hopefully not many of the group will get killed off. To get the good ending for this, you actually have to have one specific person with you at the end. And they'll be replacing one member of the group. They're not much better than most of the regular units you get anyhow. And they only get one special ability which won't be used anymore. And other than that, you have to lose less than 10 people and beat the whole thing in less than 25 hours. I'm not exactly sure how I'm supposed to know that. I think when I was doing just a soldiers only run of this, I believe A was the best I was able to get so far, and that was just because it took a while to do. And so I guess it makes it unlikely that this will go any better. Because again, the thing with archers is that they are terrible. Early on it seems like they're usable, just because they have a higher hit chance than other classes, and they're pretty fast. But that's just because they effectively get only 4 normal weapons to start off with, which is first a really crappy bow, then a really crappy crossbow, then a decent bow, and then a decent crossbow, and that's it. There are a few special options available, but as far as stuff that you can just kind of easily accessible, that's about it. So classes in this, unlike FFT, are not actually limited in what they can equip. Anybody can use anything, but they'll be slightly better, and again, that's very slightly better using certain weapons. And this may just apply to accuracy, because I haven't actually seen too much of a difference giving a bow to, like, say, something stronger like a knight or something, rather than an archer. So the heavy classes will usually be better for archers, or actually the flying classes are usually better, because you can just stick them on top of roofs and nobody can go get them. Something else you might notice, that as far as bows go, they can go outside of their range. This will just depend on the number of panels under them. So you're kind of taking a gamble to see whether or not they'll be able to hit them. Crossbows don't have that bonus to them, but they are able, I believe, to shoot, I think it was like 6 or 7 panels up without any penalty. But this doesn't mean that you're able to shoot on top of the wall. So So in most cases, both will be more effective. Just like most games, so that's not much of a surprise. Orson here, the guy with the headband, is probably one of the few people who actually is a useful archer in this game. You can get him later on if you go through a couple of different options. But overall, he's not the best. Also, to anyone who noticed, for whatever reason, he actually got a better bow in the second fight than the first one. You'd think that he had the better one with him all along, considering he's supposed to be their specialist or something along those lines. Also kind of strange that they were hiding from pirates. They're supposed to have an army with them. So yeah, he gives us 3,500 bucks. It's not much, but it's a good amount to start with. So yeah, this is the point at which we are actually finally able to go ahead and start organizing this group. If I did the options right here, there should be... Yes. Start out with a archer and a ninja over here. These will, again, change based on what you have at the beginning. So starting off, remove this guy's things. And these Hawkmen are one class you can get right away. They actually can't change their classes, they get a special a little bit later on, which is to inexplicably shoot lightning. But they're useful for almost anything. You can just fly them on anywhere, stick them on top of a wall, and have them shoot at everyone below. So they're kind of a good and versatile thing to have around, but they can't really take too much punishment. And anyhow, later on they pretty much get replaced by another class that kind of comes up. Kind of wouldn't make sense to mention it right now, because it wouldn't make sense given the context of things. So I will go ahead and kind of fix up all these classes here, and we'll come back for the second part of this.